Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Omar, and today I have the pleasure to speak with you guys the top 5 myths about losing weight. I know I hear this all the time, even at the gym, where people simply say, you know what, do I have to do cardio all the time? Do I have to eat this particular food for the rest of my life to keep the weight off? Do I have to hop on fat burners, so on and so forth? I hear these all the time, and they are far from the truth. These myths have been passed down either from our parents or people that were uneducated in the field of fitness, and it may have even worked for them and they told you to do it and you tried and you failed miserably. So I'm going to break it down for you guys today. Hopefully it provides some value, and most importantly, you guys could take some nuggets from this. So without any further ado, let's get started. Just before we start, guys, this is my Instagram at UmiFit. I post daily on there, and if you guys have any questions, concerns, you could leave a comment below or you could reach out to me at my Instagram channel. With that being said, let's start. So first is starvation. Oh, I should just starve myself and, you know, don't have any food to eat, just go on a water diet and I'm gonna lose weight. Uh, how true is this? Somewhat of it is true, and a lot of it is going to backfire on you. What do I mean by this? Because when you put your body into starvation mode, you slow down your B- BMR, your basal metabolic rate. I'll try to type this as fast as I can. Metabolic rate. And what that does essentially, okay, in in other terms, this will actually shrink your stomach. But what happens is, as you get hungry and hungrier, you're going to obviously get famished and you're gonna start eating. So therefore, your body, your stomach, when the food goes, it starts to expand slowly. And as you go on further, continuing with this strategy, what starts to happen is there's gonna come a time where your body won't be able to sustain this. And what happens when it's unable to sustain it, it goes on a binge. And therefore, whatever weight you lost or whatever, you know, however many days that you put that effort in within one day, you could gain all those calories back and much more. So that is definitely not the strategy. The strategy is you have to fight fat with nutrient dense food. If you want to limit yourself, you really want looking to lose weight, you want to eat and focus on foods such as eggs, chicken breast, you know, complex carbs, carbs with low glycemic index, because those carbs, what your body does is essentially, for example, if you look at chicken breast, it's highly nutritious and it's 99% protein. So therefore, you want to feed your body things that your body will be able to absorb right away and suck the nutrients and then dish out the rest into your through your digestion, right? So for example, when you eat a high protein diet, you're going to go into a state called satiety, and that basically means essentially is a feeling of being full, and it curbs off cravings, and it's gonna curb off things that you don't want to put in your mouth because or in your body. Therefore, you're going to able to control exactly how much you're eating, and you're going to be able to curb off all the bad food that you've been taking in, right? So moving on to the next part, I'm going to tell you guys about, I named it Carbotron, but carbs. And people say carbs are bad. No, they're not. Carbs, you need them for your glycogen. You need them for your pumps. You need them for your energy. Without carbs, we'd be dead. Okay, so carbs are really important, but what I want you guys to focus on is if you're trying to lose weight, you want to avoid dirty carbs. Dirty carbs would be such as dough, especially pizza dough, okay? That would be one of the worst carbs that you could put in your body. Anything that's fried, like a donut that's essentially 99% carb and filled, littered with sugar and fat, so fried food, right? Instead of this, you want to focus on low glycemic index carbs. What do I mean by this? You could go with such as lentils, you could go with sweet potatoes or yams, right? You could also go with potatoes generally, or if you want to lean it down a little bit more, you could go with quinoa, right? Um, this is huge because, guys, a lot of people think carbs are the enemy, but they're not. Carbs are your ally if used correctly. One of the biggest tips I've given my clients is try to avoid carbs before 8 p.m. Now I understand some could say, oh, well, what if I didn't have carbs all day and I had carbs right before I went to sleep? That is okay. But ideally and generally, you want your digestive system to be in pristine condition. You don't want to just eat a bunch of food, go to sleep, and then that food has no movement. It just stays in your body, and then you're gonna wake up more groggy. You're gonna wake up more sluggish, and most importantly, while you thought you were sleeping, your body was actually focused on digesting that food instead of giving your mind rest and your body rest, right? So try not to have carbs later at night, earlier on in the day. But my take is the best times to take in carbs is ideally right after your workout, and you could have a control portion right before your workout, so you just have the perfect amount of energy to get through it. Number 3 on the list, we have spot fat. So a lot of people think that you could you know, reduce fat by targeting it. Okay, I want you to think of it like your body is like a balloon. Okay, and when you're putting air in a balloon, the entire balloon balloons up evenly. And when you take air out of that balloon, it comes out evenly. Makes sense? So your body is very much the exact same. You cannot, if you have fat underneath your arms, if you have fat right underneath your lats, if you have fat, in your lower abdomen, you won't be able to spot reduce fat because how your body works is it's one unit. It's not like, oh, you know what, I want to take a zap gun and just zap this part of my body and it's going to reduce fat. Unfortunately, it does not work like that, and this myth has been scientifically busted over and over and over again, and your body acts as a whole, acts as one. So therefore, the best way to reduce reduce fat in parts of your body where you might not like it is simply by controlling what you eat, and most importantly, doing the right nutrition and training protocol. Number 4 on the list is fat burners. Fat burners, guys, these are honestly they're glorified caffeine pills, essentially, right? Now, coming from me, caffeine, I love my coffee, but as far as like fat burners go, they have green tea extract, they have L-carnitine. So I'll write this green tea extract. They have L-carnitine. And they have such as CLA, conjugated leolenic acid. Okay, that's too long to spell, but yeah. So basically, these help and add into aid in fat loss. But I'm telling you guys, try to stay away from these because sometimes what they could do is they could offset and imbalance your hormones, and therefore they could even some of them could even cause heart palpitations because they're essentially raising your heartbeat, and they're gonna help you. They're gonna do what they're going to do, which is to help you lose fat, but it's not a uh, uh, long-term strategy, right? These are great if you're stepping on stage and you're 1 2 weeks out and you're really trying to come in lean, dry out, and completely get rid of as much fat as possible. That's great and all, but in my opinion, if you could do it the natural way through the right protocols, that's something that I would highly recommend before you get on fat burners. Number 5 on the list, and coming to the bottom of the ninth, is cardio. Do I just do cardio over and over and over and over again? See, guys, this is a terrible idea because I see a lot of people, they come in the gym, they would do cardio for 45 minutes, they would go home, right? But what you're doing is essentially, once your body has ripped all the fat off of your through cardio, you've lost all majority of the fat and you're like less than single digit body fat, you start to lose muscle. And you want to retain this. This is the juicy part of your physique. This is what you want to protect. This is what you want to definitely manage and track, because muscle is created through protein synthesis. And most importantly, cardio is great, but you don't want to just do cardio. You want to add in strength training. And strength training is really important because scientifically proven, if your muscles are not under tension, they're not being stretched, they're not being contracted, they're not going to struggle. And when the body and the muscle, the ligaments, the actual muscle itself, they do not struggle under any sort of tension, they won't get activated and they won't grow. So therefore, when you go home, there's nothing to repair because nothing was ever broken down. When you're working out, your muscles are being stretched, they're being broken down, and therefore they need to be fed. But if that did not take place, it's pure scientific formula behind this, is where if something is not broken, why fix it? So that's how your muscles work very carefully, like looking at it. That's how your muscles behave. If they're not stretched, they're not being under tension, they're not stretched out, there's nothing to repair. Your mind's like, okay, your body's gonna go into a form where basically you're tricking yourself thinking that you're gaining muscle, but ultimately if you do too much cardio, you're losing weight, you're losing fat, and you're losing most importantly muscle. Muscle is something that's gonna keep you on your body. You want muscle because first and foremost, you want to look healthy. 2, most importantly, muscle is something that you could retain, especially if you're doing this naturally, because muscle memory is a real thing. Even if you were to take off 2 weeks, but you've been working off for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, your mind knows exactly and your muscle goes exactly where it was when you last left it. So I hope this helped, guys. These are the top 5 myths about losing weight. If you guys have any questions or concerns, please leave a comment below. If you found this valuable, I would love your support, and if you could subscribe and hit me a follow on Instagram. I come out with new content every single day. And with that being said, guys, I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.